Ange actually like makes like stop motion like video, like they're properly told narratives, and
What do you mean? Great account?
What do you mean?
So Angela runs a YouTube channel called What Do You Mean?
Oh.
She's only started out recently, but she's going to be a force to contend with, so check it out.
Everybody, and she has a great voice, but not to mention she's intelligent and knows how to condense extremely complicated issues into simple ones. You know?
What does the prehistoric shithead Alan Jones that works for 2GB and the piece of shit that took 50 lives in Christchurch that for the rest of his days will be breathing somebody else's air, what do they have in common? That's a hectic question, so we'll get straight to the answer. What they did took the spotlight from what should have been the main focus, which happens to be the same thing in both cases. Yeah, what that Australian radio broadcaster that seems to have a problem with a female prime minister of any country and the evil piece of scum that killed 50 people, what they have in common other than being on Jacinta's, the New Zealand Prime Minister's shit list, is stealing the show. One more directly connected than the other, but I'll get to that and how I'm still shook. But between his initial comments on the radio, and the backlash, and then the advertisers, and then the apology. Gonna love it. Public, fuck yourselves. Where I get my money from? Oh, yep, no, I will apologise. But I reckon that has been covered just as thoroughly as the reason why he said these comments and why Jacinta and our Prime Minister are visiting these islands in the first place. I swear, if it wasn't for the insulting and ridiculous things that the Prime Minister and the acting Prime Minister said, there wouldn't be much mention. And depending on what outlet you're talking about, it depends on the sort of spin they give it. But yeah, I just was a bit beside myself when I was scrolling through and saw just as many, if not more, people going off about that shithead's comments regarding a sock and New Zealand's Prime Minister. Like, what a piece of shit. Honestly, sack Alan Jones. I'll do your radio show. Now, wow, never get over this in the Christchurch shootings, other than how tragic and horrible it is, and closer to home than most shootings. That day, I was finishing a video, sitting in my living room. My housemate came home and had some other people with him in the living room, and we were just hanging out in the morning, talking, and I started to get ready to go out for the day, because I was going to go participate in the global school strike for the climate. And I did, and I was there, got some amazing videos. It was like, oh, you could hear the fear in the kids' voices. It was really hot, it was ridiculous, and I remember walking back to the bus stop to go home and just seeing the notifications on my phone and going, oh fuck, oh really? And my first thought was, oh no, how many people? And then I think there was like information about how it was being streamed, and I was like, oh, that's real fucked up. And then my third thought was, oh, on today, of course today, where if it wasn't today, all of the kids walking to their parliament buildings all over the world would be the major headline. But no. And I had to come back and recoup and just touch base with my housemate, because it was extremely cooked saying just before leaving the house, after talking about shootings, rolling off of one that happened in America. I remember we were talking about things that happened in Australia, and I mentioned a siege that happened 500 meters from my house. Talked about the Link Cafe, and the comment actually saying, New Zealand, nothing ever happens in New Zealand. That'd be lovely. How good's that? It's not too bad here in Australia, but you'd never hear of anything happening in New Zealand. They've got their shit sorted. And yeah, I don't know if I've mentioned this in a video yet or not, but still, such a what do you mean series of events. But yeah, it's already bad enough that all of these children have to go and protest and strike and try to bring attention to the fact that their futures are fucked if everyone keeps carrying on the way they are. That's already fucked, but then we don't even get to have that discussion on that day because some fucking evil lunatic gets a gun and kills 50 people. Like, I couldn't say that they're directly related, like he planned around picking that day for any particular reason or not, but come on. And then again, just now, when we should be like, oh, all the leaders are meeting to talk about the fact that these islands are gonna go underwater. These people's homes. So I might spend my Sunday emailing McCormack, the Deputy Prime Minister, and Morrison, the Prime Minister, to let them know how bigger dickheads they are.